Influencing others is at the heart of effective leadership. Now, I like the following definition of leadership. Leadership is the process of influencing others towards a common vision. And the acronym INFLUENCE highlights various methods to do so. When it comes to influence, planning and intentionality are critical. Leaders who intentionally choose influence strategies will be better prepared to help the team accomplish the task. Now, leadership scholar Ken Blanchard has a quote I love. The key to successful leadership today is influence, not authority. So one quick thought before we jump in. Any influence attempt is an experiment. And like most first-time experiments, there's a high likelihood of failure. So to influence others, you need to be patient and try multiple paths forward. Likewise, you may need to combine 3 or 4 of the strategies to one situation. In some cases, those 3 or 4 may work. In others, they just might not. The key is this. Are you intentional in your plan? Have you determined the correct timing and location? Or are you trying to do it all by text or email? In general, influence attempts work best in person. Emails, texts, phone calls are much less effective than face-to-face dialogue. So your first option is to involve others. An old adage suggests that people support what they help create. One way to influence others is to make them part of the process. By doing so, they will better understand the intricacies of the issues, can help brainstorm beyond the barriers, and will serve as a partner in the process. This influence strategy is all about voice. A limitation of this approach is that you may lose control of your original idea or vision as the group moves in new directions. This approach can also take time. An upside of this approach is that there will be higher levels of buy-in and the group will be better educated on the many nuances of the topic. A second option is that the attempt needs logic. Use facts, data, and logical argument to assert your case. While this would seem pretty simple at face value, logic alone can fail. Saying to your friend who struggles with his weight to reduce his caloric intake rarely succeeds. It makes logical sense, but can be extremely difficult to put into long-term practice. So build this strategy into your argument, but do not plan for this strategy alone to yield results as often as you might think. Another influence tactic is focus on relationships. Much can be accomplished through relationships. If you are well-liked and build strong interpersonal relationships, there's a higher likelihood you will have influence. As a result, if influence is at the heart of leadership, trusting relationships are the glue that keeps the whole thing together. The more time you have invested in relationships on the front end, the more influence you will have when it's needed. Now, you could also lead a coalition. Is it me or is it we? Leading a coalition can have significant influence over decision makers. Gandhi led a coalition. Martin Luther King Jr. did so as well. Having more than one voice at the table is an essential strategy. Numbers communicate energy and advocacy for an idea, approach, or a course of action. Now, in rare instances, you could also use formal authority. If you use your formal authority, it's critical to do so with care and caution. There's a difference between authority and influence. People have to do what an authority figure demands, whereas an effective leader can influence people toward a common vision. However, remember this, using formal authority can be a critical tool. Now, another influence tactic is to emphasize the win-win. This strategy aligns well with the final influence strategy, empathy is key. If you truly understand the needs of the person or the group you're trying to influence, you can identify win-win solutions with greater ease. After all, if both parties leave a conversation feeling as though they've gained something, everyone is happy. Now also, remember to negotiate. When asked at seminars why they chose not to negotiate, participants often use the word fear. Fear that the relationship will be damaged. Fear that they will be seen as greedy. Fear that they will be rejected. Negotiation is a learned skill. This reality means that you need to have mentors and coaches to help guide you along the way. Now, another influence strategy is create positive energy. If you are enthusiastic about the given course of action, it's likely others will be as well. Energizing and engaging others is a critical influence strategy. Doing so requires skill and authenticity. It also requires you to set a positive emotional tone for others. Your positive emotion influences the emotional state of others. It's pretty cool. Who is that friend of yours who, when they are with the group, it just makes it more enjoyable, energetic, and fun? In essence, they are using their optimism, charisma, humor to influence the emotional state of the group. It's called emotional contagion. It's a fascinating concept. Look it up. Finally, when trying to influence others, you need to remember that empathy is key. The moment you decide to influence an individual or a group, you need to put yourself in their shoes. What motivates them? What pains do they experience? What are they struggling to achieve? An acute understanding of these questions can help you formulate a plan of action. Now, for that plan of action, 2 components. The intentional use of multiple influence strategies listed in this video. And 2, the actual content you would like to propose. Innovative ideas that chart a path forward. So to conclude, think about the last influence attempt you made with your parents, children, siblings, friends, supervisor, or coworkers. Which strategies did you include? Which ones could you have included? Stay in a place of intentionality and active experimentation, and you will be amazed to see what unfolds before your eyes.